Welcome back here to Viewpoints. I am your host, Jordan Voyles. I'm sitting here with Dr. John Gerlach. Today we're going to be talking about faith, and I'm excited about this subject. So, John, what do you have for us today?
You know, I think one of the big encounters that Jesus had was that it's impacted me a lot, and it's when he meets the centurion. Actually, it's an encounter, but really they never meet. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's an encounter without ever being face to face, and it's all about faith. And I thought it'd be great today to just talk about faith, because you hear a lot of different things. You and I have talked about this before. Mm-hmm. You have a lot of different kind of religious groups that have a lot of different viewpoints on having enough faith, or if you have faith, this will happen. Mm-hmm. Then you've got that along with faith is a mustard seed. Yeah. So you got, hey, it's all about whether you have faith or not. Well, you just don't have enough faith. That's why it didn't happen. But then you have, the parable of the mustard seed. You got this whole range, and I think a lot of people are confused about, what is enough faith? Yeah, yeah. And I think we get the answer to that question, which I think is a pretty important question. How much faith does somebody need to have, and how do you know? Mm-hmm. How do you know if you're there? I mean, if it is, we got to have so much faith. Then how do you know? Mm-hmm. Am I at 70%? Am I at 90%? I mean, how do you know? So I think all those are good questions. So let's just dive into, first of all, this centurion, Roman soldier, over 100 soldiers. Mm-hmm. That's where they get the name centurion, like century. And so we have a situation, and I got a question for you off these first two verses we're going to read. This is Luke 7, 2 and 3. There a centurion servant whom his master valued highly was sick and about to die. Now, got to remember, Luke's a doctor. His diagnosis is this guy doesn't have long. Yeah. And the centurion heard of Jesus, sent some elders of the Jews to him, asking him to come and heal his servant. Mm-hmm. All right, so here's my question out of that. I don't know if you've ever thought about this out of that passage before, but it hit me probably for the first time. Okay, some people come to faith in God through, like at the hospital. Mm-hmm. They've never believed in God, and they're laying in a bed at a hospital, and all of a sudden they go, okay, I believe. And, maybe they're even close to death or whatever. Yeah. Do you feel like that faith is real, not real, or what? Because I think one lesson I get out of this is that some of the reasons, well, I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that see if I agree with your answer or not. Sure. No, I'm just.
So your question is, if someone is on their deathbed.
Yeah. Is that faith real?
Is that faith real? I think it's a great question.
And obviously we don't know for sure, bottom line, but could it be real? Let me put it that way.
Yes. I think we've seen many instances in the Bible, the thief on the cross, these moments where Jesus is real to them. Now, the Lord knows everyone's heart. I mean, we see that in the Old Testament, that we look on the outward appearance. So we could be judging someone on their deathbed and going like, well, they lived a terrible life. Like, why did they get this opportunity? Right. But the Lord judges the heart. And I think that ultimately that is up for the Lord to decide, and he is the rightful judge. But yeah, absolutely. There's many times where people, I've been in grief counseling sessions where those moments really do happen for people, where it's like, oh my God, I've got it wrong. Yeah. And then, Lord, would you have mercy upon me? And the Lord steps in. And so, yeah, I think that there's several instances like that where people have given their life to Christ during those last moments, those final breaths. And I think that the Lord sees their heart as genuine. But ultimately, I think that's a really tough question, but I would say yes.
Yeah. What hit me here was, and I agree, what hit me here was how that one of the times faith gets real to us is in difficulty. Mm-hmm. And I started thinking, but why? Why does it get real? And I think part of it is that we have this, I think everybody has a reality of going, there's something else in life. I thought if I got to that achievement, everything would be great. It's not. Yeah. I thought if I had this one relationship that solved everything, it doesn't. and there's just like gnawing thing, but like a tragedy or a crisis kind of wipes all the fog away. And all of a sudden you go, there is something, there's got to be something more. And I think that's why a lot of people actually come to faith or grow their faith or realize they need faith in a crisis. And that's what you got here with the centurion.
That's what's happening here.
Here, I got a servant. We're close. And he's about to die, and I don't know what to do. And all of a sudden, he's looking for answers. It's that looking for answers kind of quest that he has. So he has heard about Jesus is very popular at this time. And so here's what happens next. So Jesus went with them. These are these leaders of the Jews. He was not far from the house when the centurion sent friends to say to him, Lord, do not trouble yourself, because I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. That is why I did not even consider myself worthy to come to you. But say the word, and my servant will be healed. And then it finishes out by Jesus heard this. He was amazed at him, and he turns to the crowd and says, I tell you, I've not found such great faith even in Israel.
Yeah.
So you have this, kind of like, oh, Jesus, you don't even need to show up for this. I have faith enough in you that you don't even have to show up. And so you got this contrast. I had a lot of questions about this passage. Did the religious leaders really think Jesus could do this? Because they don't seem to ever believe in Jesus. But they do it because this guy had actually was a big donor to the synagogue. Wow. So they try to do it. So I think it's real interesting here that Jesus goes, this is great faith. Okay. So why? So does this mean faith healers don't really need to have services anymore?
Man, let's go through that rabbit hole. Oh, man. No, I think the ultimate question here is faith begins with, number one, God's existence. And then do we consider him to be trustworthy?
Yeah.
And I think that's what you're seeing in this passage here is like, this man's like, okay, this guy's the real deal, but also I trust the outcome of him even not even coming to my house.
Yeah.
Just even if he just says it, I believe it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same faith that I think that we have to wrestle with today is like, do we trust God? And then do we trust the outcome of what he says? Right. And so to me, that's the whole overarching point of this whole passage here is like, trusting in God no matter what the situation is, I guess. So that's kind of where I land with it.
Right. But back to the faith healer services.
You see the way I try to get out?
No, I think what you said. But honestly, just you think about it, it's kind of like if why do you have to go to a service?
Sure. Yeah.
Just heal some. That's what Jesus did.
That's a good point.
So just a little side note right there. Okay. So I want to kind of wrap up with this other passage, which is one we didn't talk about Sunday, but it's this father who has a son who's, basically having a lot going on in his life. He's being self-destructive, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So let me read it out of Mark 9. It says, it's talking about he has an evil spirit. I mean, he's demon possessed. He has often thrown himself into fire or water to kill him. But if you can do anything, have pity on us and help us. If you can, said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. Immediately, the boy's father exclaimed, I do believe. Help me overcome my unbelief. And Jesus heals the son. Is the end of the story. So I want to kind of chase this thing where Jesus kind of says, the man says, if you can do anything, which shows he's got a lot of doubts. Jesus going, oh, so if I can, he kind of calls it out. And then basically, this man makes this interesting statement. So I'm going to get your take on this statement.
Yeah.
I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief. So does he have faith or does he not have faith?
Well, I think he has genuine faith.
Yeah.
I think when you come to the conclusion of like, I'm still human and I'm still doubting this circumstance, I have faith in you, Lord, but there's a little bit of me that's just still in fear.
Yeah.
And I think the Lord understood that. And he's going like, okay, like I can work with this situation here. So yeah, I would say that there was a genuineness there of the heart that the Lord was understanding.
Yeah.
But back to your question about like the faith healers and stuff, I think people take this scripture out of context too, because you see the Lord going, all who believe, anything can happen. But that's taken out of a weird context too, because multiple times in scripture, we see the Lord going like, I believe you can do it. In the garden, he's praying, I believe you can do it. If it's possible, let this cup pass from me, but your will be done.
Right.
And I think those two things have to always go hand in hand with faith. Like, I don't know what.
So you came back to the faith healers thing. I noticed that.
Well, this passage I think goes with that.
Yeah. I think one thing. Do you not think this kind of addresses the misconception of the that's not, I made up a word. The misdefinition, the false definition of faith, which is you don't have any doubts. Isn't that a false definition biblically, right?
Absolutely. We're human.
Yeah. I mean, people get this idea in their head is if I have faith, I'll never have doubts.
Yeah.
No. Here's a guy who was very honest. He goes, I do believe I've got faith, but help me with my unbelief, which I think is a great prayer for everybody.
Yes.
I think that's a great prayer to pray. Lord, I want to trust you on a belief, but help me with those doubts because they're going to be there.
Yeah. Well, if I could say something too, we did something in our group one time and we had mentioned of an exercise that we have been taught sometimes before with other church friends of ours that do you believe if you were to die right now, from a scale from 1 to 10, do you believe that you're going to heaven or hell? Like, what's the scale? 0, you're like, I'm not going to heaven. 10, I am going to heaven. What's the faith? And, the response is, well, it's got to be a 10. If you know the Lord, it's a 10. But someone in our group said something that it actually was astonishing to me. And I think it goes perfectly with this. One of them spoke up and said, I'm about sometimes a 4, but I believe the Lord can take care of the rest. Oh. And I think that's what's happening here. It's like,
exactly. Yeah.
God, I'm a 2 right now.
Yeah.
But I trust you that you're my other 8.
Yeah.
So that I feel like that's kind of where this person is and where I think a lot of believers are in their walk with God. It's like, sometimes I'm a 10, sometimes I'm a 2, but Lord, I'm trusting that you can be the other portion for me right now.
Right.
So, okay.
So final word.
Yeah.
I think one key lesson that we talked about Sunday, key lesson in what is enough faith is this. And I think this is so important. It's not the strength of your faith. And I think a lot of times we want to say, have great faith, and then God has to do it. But just like the example you use, well, Jesus, that didn't happen with Jesus in the garden, going to the cross. That's not what happened. So we kind of get caught up in that a little bit. It's like, I got to have strong faith. No, it's your object of your faith. Who are you putting your faith in is, and I think when Jesus says, he says everything is possible for one who believes. I don't think he's talking about level of faith. I think he's talking about you put your faith in the right place, which is going to be Jesus. That you're going to have that Jesus be the object of your faith. And then whatever is his will, you trust in that.
Yeah.
So to me, I would just say to the listener, I hope that those times you doubt, the times that you struggle, that it would be a time where you would be willing to just go pray the prayer that this man prays in Mark 9.
That's good.
And go, and I love that story. That's a great story about in your group. And God takes care of the rest.
Yeah. That's good. Pastor, thank you so much. So listener, we pray that this has strengthened your faith. Continue to be with us. I know that we have a great sermon series for you. God bless. We'll see you next time.